Hi everybody, I'm Aisha Oberg and I'm your instructor for your online introductory psychology class. This is an 8-week accelerated class, so it will move quickly. I'm going to be reviewing your syllabus with you today. So when you open up your syllabus, this is what you should see. A little bit about me and my teaching philosophy. Here's my contact information. This is my home number. Monday, Wednesday mornings are the best time to get in touch with me. I'm usually working until I head off to either Psych Club or classes at Mount San Jacinto. The other days I'm usually out in the Oceanside area because I teach out there as well. And so if you have, email is always best, but if you want to meet face-to-face, I am in class during these hours on the Menifee campus, so you can always reach me before or after class. I'd be happy to schedule a face-to-face meeting. So just reach out via email and let me know, and I'm happy to accommodate. So here's your textbook information. We're going to be using Carpenter and Huff, Visualizing Psychology. I really love this book because it breaks things down into kind of understandable terminology, and I like that a lot. They also incorporate a lot of images that are very powerful. So for those of you that are visual learners, those images can be very helpful. Keep in mind that because it is a visualizing psychology textbook, a lot of things that they use the images for, they don't necessarily explain through text. So make sure you don't disregard the images and you really do pay close attention to those images because they can explain a whole concept through images, charts, diagrams. Overall, our course is going to introduce you to the various themes of psychology. A lot of people view psychology as kind of the pathological aspect, disorders, but really and truly we are a scientific discipline, and so we do apply the scientific method, and we study the various components that make us who we are. Certainly theories are important, and depending upon your theoretical perspective, you might answer questions differently. So I'm here to introduce you to the various components that make up who we are and the various theories of our discipline. So most people really want to know how their grade is going to be based and what assignments or responsibilities are going to be required throughout the semester. And so I do have introductory activities. The first day on March 28th when we start, you will be required to do a syllabus quiz. And then thereafter, you're going to have just a couple little activities that will get you used to navigating in Blackboard and help us get to know one another and establish a little bit of relationship. Additionally, you'll have a text assignment due for each chapter. This is a chapter assignment. It's meant to guide your reading and serve as a study guide for the exams. So if you're able to thoroughly answer the questions or define the terms that are outlined on each of the text assignments, you should be able to do really well on your exams for that module. We are going to have also a learning activity, which is going to be some opportunity or assignment that allows you to apply what you've learned in that chapter and go a little bit deeper in an assignment or activity so that you can understand it in a more meaningful way. And then you're also going to have an exam for each module. So each week we're going to cover a module. The first 7 weeks together we'll cover a module per week. Modules usually include about 2 chapters. The first one's only going to include 1. And then week 5 we're going to have 3 chapters built into it. And then our week 8 we're actually going to do our final. So that'll be also an opportunity for you to make sure you didn't miss anything from a prior week. So it's going to go very fast and you're going to have to cover multiple chapters in a week's time, which means you have to read the chapter, do the text assignment, and do the learning activity for each chapter. There isn't an exam at the end of each chapter. What there is 1 exam per module. So you'll take a total of 7 modules in the first 7 weeks. Each exam is going to be worth 50 points. And then at the very last week, you're going to take a cumulative final for the class, and that'll be worth 100 points. A total of 775 points for the class. This is just like a bucket of points that you're accumulating. And then based on if you earn 90% of those points or above, you get an A, 80 to 89.9, you get a B, so on and so forth. I do post all of your grades in the grade book. which you can access by clicking the My Grades link under Student Resources, and I'll note that in your course orientation as well. Please monitor your grades in Blackboard just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Sometimes you might think you submitted it, but you didn't. So if you're missing a grade for a particular assignment, reach out via email and we'll try to clarify and correct that. Your learning objectives for the class, and additionally I've incorporated some of the institutional learning objectives and our program learning objectives for the class. And then you should also know that these are just kind of some student resources that I've put together. Your book is an important resource, so reading is really imperative, especially in an online class. I will try to post some videos that will also help to give you a quick audio highlight of some of the most important concepts from the chapters as well. And then your text assignments. Additionally, you should know that your book has a companion site. So if you go on wiley.org and then you punch in our book title, they will actually have student resources that you can use. The companion, as in a dog, as a companion. You can go onto the companion site. They have practice quizzes, they have flashcards, so they have some resources that can help you do better. I do use their test bank for our exams, so that may be valuable as well. Again, the learning activities to dive deeper, really kind of challenge what you think you know and give you an applied format. And so breaking down your exams with regard to each of the modules, I do allow extra credit. I am a faculty advisor to the Psychology Club. You are welcome to attend any Psych Club meeting, and that is worth extra credit. Additionally, I will be posting various activities throughout campus that you can also participate in for extra credit as well. Some important due dates. These really were relevant to the overall full semester schedule. So for us, I think we're really going to have April 28th as our last day. I'm not 100% positive, so check with your counselor about that. Pretty much within the first 2 days of being in our class, know whether you want to stay or not. If you don't want to stay, then it will be really important to drop the class. Number one, to make sure you don't get too far behind because it is a short-term class. And number two, to make room for someone else if you don't think you can keep up with the workload. Always consider me a resource. My door is open. I'm willing to help give you some academic advice and to help support and encourage you in your academic journey. I tend to be very flexible and supportive, and so please keep that in mind. I'll be happy to address concerns or questions. Just make sure that you reach out to me via email and we can schedule either a phone conference or a Google Hangout or some other way, or face-to-face as I mentioned. Here's the textbook information. I'm sorry, wiley.com, not wiley.org. And it's actually telling you how to access that. Please make connections with your classmates. They're great resources as well. And then our college has some really great resources in terms of a learning resource center, tutoring, writing center, and they really try to do their best to make sure that you have all the services you need to help increase your success on campus. So please make sure you're familiar with those. If you happen to have a learning disability or some other challenge where maybe you're processing information a little bit differently, maybe you can benefit from some different technology resources or different approaches, then please reach out to our DSPS as well. Please know that I don't time your exams. I give you as much time as you like. They are going to be administered via Blackboard, and so you can do it in a quiet learning environment, and then you can take as much time as you need. So I do try to be supportive of people. I realize that testing environments can sometimes evoke anxiety for people, and I want to make sure that you know that I try to support you as best as I can. Some policies. Attendance is really important. How we measure attendance in online is based on your regular and effective contact, is what we call it. It's essentially based on your work completion. You're considered present if you're actively submitting assignments. So if you miss 3 or more assignments, or you're late on 3 or more assignments, those are considered absences and you are eligible to be dropped. So I do want to make sure that you're mindful of that and you continue to regularly participate. Make sure all the documents that you submit to me, you retain. Otherwise, you know, in case I run in, I have to reach out to you and say, hey, I didn't get this assignment. They're just a couple clicks away to send to me. I'm very supportive of diversity, whether that's gender, culture, whether that's language, whether that's SES, whether that's just differing viewpoints. So we're going to discuss things in this class through our learning activities. Sometimes there's a personal application approach. Always be sure when you're communicating, you're showing a tolerance and appreciation for alternate viewpoints that might differ from your own. Instead of looking at classes as an opportunity to convert someone to your own views, maybe look at it as an opportunity to expand your own views, because we all bring value to the classroom, and by opening our minds, we can certainly hear other perspectives and enrich our own. So keep that in mind. Always be polite, use manners. It's never appropriate to use derogatory comments. Always, when you're presenting an opinion or a viewpoint, provide the support, provide the rationale. Why do you have that viewpoint? And that helps to eliminate some disagreements as well. I'm not sure about a pass, no pass option. I don't really recommend it because this is often a core requirement for your transfer degrees, and so I would really highly recommend you just take a grade in this class, because otherwise the pass, no pass may hurt you later on. If you know where you're going to be transferring, it's probably best to talk with them. If you want to drop, then it's important that you do so. It's ultimately your responsibility whether I drop you or you drop. It's really your responsibility to understand the implications that has to your financial aid, to your transcripts. So make sure you're actively participating if you genuinely want to stay in the class and see it through to completion. And then make sure you're checking the class schedule for any specific dates that are important to you. This class does still adhere to our academic honesty policies. Plagiarism is not allowed. All your work must be your original work. Please do not copy that of a classmate. Do not just paraphrase the work of a classmate. You need to be doing the work, and it should reflect your individual views and concerns. And then also, if you have any concerns about internet challenges, or you run into some challenges or harassment issues on the internet, please let us know so that we can correct those. We are a college environment, so we don't restrict what you have access to. If you don't have access to a computer at home, it may prove to be challenging in terms of getting your work done, but we do have computer labs at the Menifee and San Jacinto campus if you need to take or utilize those computers. Otherwise, please, again, reach out to me with any questions. I will look forward to getting to know you guys throughout the semester, and enjoy.